But let's be clear here. There is nothing the President proposed yesterday that would result, if enacted, in anyone, any law-abiding citizen in America losing a gun. The President made clear yesterday his full support for the Second Amendment and the Second Amendment rights of American citizens. He also made clear that we have an obligation, and American citizens, including our most vulnerable, youngest American citizens, have rights too, and we have an obligation to uphold those rights, including the rights of 7-year-olds to live without the fear of being gunned down in their own school. So we as a society need to come together and take common sense actions that do not affect Americans' Second Amendment rights, which the President supports, but do put in place laws and actions that address this problem, that, for example, provide for a system of background checks for those who would purchase weapons that is comprehensive, that does not contain gaping loopholes. That's something that a vast majority of the American people believe is sensible and they support. And the President sincerely hopes that that support, which comes from around the country, that comes from Democrats and Republicans, that comes from NRA members, sportsmen and women, from suburban areas, rural areas, and urban areas, will result in Congress taking appropriate action.
So what happens to the, by some estimates, 2 million assault-style weapons that are out there now or more? What happens to those after a ban? Is this a ban on the old weapons are grandfathered in? It's a ban.
Yeah, this is a ban on further manufacture on new weapons.
So how effective can something like that be, given that, look at the sales that are going on even now.
Well, I think the President said that there is no question, that there's no single piece of legislation, no single action that we can take that would eradicate all acts of evil, all acts of violence, that would absolutely prevent every terrible shooting in the future. We know that, and the President is aware of that. But we should take actions that reduce the possibility, that through the reduction in the possibility of the kinds of things we saw in Newtown and Aurora and Columbine and elsewhere, lives are saved. And we can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good here. We can't let the fact that there will, of course, continue to be gun violence in America prevent us from taking actions to reduce gun violence in America, taking actions to make sure that, we are doing everything we can to live up to our first obligation, which is to protect our children. There's no single action here that solves this problem. Even this collection of actions won't solve the problem, but it will, the President believes, reduce gun violence, and that's a worthy goal.